Cool. I like bar floor. It is yours.
Cool. Okay, so the thing that I'll be talking about today is how to never feel insecure about your work. I'm going to try something a bit different, something a bit unusual. One of those ideas that you think is a good idea, and then every day that you get closer to your talk, you're like, wow, I really regret doing this, but we're going to go ahead with it. So I need to change my costume. Give me a second. Howdy, folks. My name is Josh. I'm from the States. So how y'all doing? Not bad. All right. Let's move on. I'm a professional software engineer, so I know a thing or two. You can tell by my little commit history. I'm a bit of a hotshot in the States. You can see even in my metrics, they are quite literally off the charts. And yeah, I've been contributing to some really high-profile open source projects. I've been doing some great stuff out there, so I'm the real deal. You can trust me. So I'm gonna give you some tips here about how. I'm gonna stop that. About how you can. Don't clap that song. Really? You want me to keep going? Oh, I don't know what happened to me there, but I'm back now. All right, so this is ridiculous. God, this is recorded as well. Okay, so you're chilling, you're working. Suddenly, you get a Slack notification. Wait, that's not right. What's missing? Oh, no, it's all good. Here are my 2 rules for never feeling insecure at work. Number 1, never be wrong. Easy peasy. Number 2, most importantly, work alone. Let's go into these. So, number 1, never being wrong. So you're working, you suddenly get a Slack ping. Ayo, someone just pinged you in a thread. Now, problem with this is that thread is about 50 messages long. It's complicated as hell, and you don't know what the hell you're going to be talking about. So this person is expecting you to give an answer. I'm getting more and more southern as I go with this accent. Roll Tide. Okay. Now the problem here is you want to construct as vague, non-committal, and as easily misunderstood a message as possible. Now, I'm getting a rolling commentary from Taylor here. This is so bad, man. I didn't have time to rewrite it, so okay, here. Anyway, so here's an example. Let's analyze this message. Now, there was a problem, and he said, "No, I think it's just." I'll do it in his accent, actually. I think there's a problem, there's a transient thing, don't worry about it, my spidey senses aren't tingling, I think we can skip this one, it's all right. Now what mistake has he made here? Is his response vague? No, he's committed, he's saying it's fine. And somebody else, a little wizard, comes swooping in, and in one fell swoop, invalidates his entire message. Damn, that's embarrassing. So what you gotta do is not that. That's so bad. Here's another example. And somebody leaves a PR comment. God damn, that's so obvious. How could you not get that? I bet you're feeling real bad about yourself now. So what do? Not this. What's the problem here? Again, you're admitting defeat. You're now inferior to Jobble Frobble. That's incredibly embarrassing. So instead, what you want to do is leave a snarky comment. Just reply with something that's going to make them feel so dumb for even asking the question in the first place. And the great thing here is people already get nervous when they're doing PR comments. And now Jobble Frobble's never going to leave a comment on my PR again. And next time he reviews my PR, he's just going to take it and prove it. Perfect. This is what I'm talking about. Never be wrong, folks. Number 2, working alone. So, what is the biggest source of insecurity for engineers? Thoughts?
Other engineers.
Other engineers? What else?
Breaking production.
Breaking production? Any other suggestions?
Imposter syndrome.
Maybe.
Maybe.
Y'all are wrong. You forgot the first rule. Come on, folks. Pairing. Pairing is the most anxiety-inducing thing that engineers have to do. Now, you're told all these things about pairing. You're told that it shares knowledge, it avoids silos. You're told that you reduce cycle time and that you're, spending less time going down rabbit holes and there's faster feedback loops and whatnot. But come on. We know that with pairing, it makes us feel anxious. Because what ends up happening is we get on a call with someone, and then what happens? This is an engineer that you respect, that you admire, and then all of a sudden this engineer is giving you solutions and you're struggling to keep up, and you're feeling really anxious about yourself. You're feeling really, really insecure. And you get into this vicious cycle of, instead of trying to work with that person, you're now really worrying about, am I contributing enough? Are they judging me? Are they thinking highly of me or not? And this isn't the place that we want to be in. And perhaps we like to put on a show sometimes, and we like to do silly accents or voices, or we like to pretend like we know what's going on, that everything's fine. But really there are times that we all feel a bit insecure, and we all feel a bit, not quite happy with ourselves or how we're doing or the kind of things that we're saying. And my voice isn't shaking because it's an act, by the way. These are genuinely things that I feel. And there have been times where I've paired with some of you guys, and I felt this because I respect you and I think highly of you. And because I'm relatively new, there are times when I'm going to be like, oh, I don't know if I want to jump on a call and pair, because I'm going to start feeling anxiety. I'm going to start feeling like I'm not good enough. And I'm putting this unreasonable amount of pressure on myself, because the reality of it is that the person on the call with me, they're not there to judge me. They're not there to establish if I'm a good engineer or not. They already accept that. And so I don't know where the scrutiny is coming from. Why am I scrutinizing myself more than that person is scrutinizing me? It just doesn't really make sense. And the way that you're seeing yourself doesn't match up to the rest of the company, because when you're leaving comments on Slack, when you're leaving comments on PRs, when you're having conversations with people, nobody is judging you. Everyone is seeing you as an intelligent person. That's why you're with us. That's why we're all working together. And it's something that I've definitely struggled with before, especially times when I'm stuck on work. Like, for example, there have been times where I will start a task. It's got a 1 point ticket, for example. It's meant to take a day or less, let's say. And here I am on day 3. I've just, every stand-up, I'm like, yeah, I'm working on it. It's going all right. Just a few problems that I'm working through. But I haven't told my team why it's taking longer. I haven't explained what's going on. I've not offered or asked for any help. I've tried to do it all myself, because I'm in this state of like, no, I need to prove to myself that I can do this. I'm intelligent. I should be able to figure this out. But it's just such an unreasonable expectation that we put on ourselves. And so maybe if we can put Josh to the side, we can really focus on the actual benefits of pairing and why this is a useful thing to do, and why having conversations with people, why being honest with them, why being yourself is actually the most beneficial thing that you can do. So instead, let's flip it around and let's focus on rules for fearless collaboration. So number 1, just making mistakes is totally okay, as I've explained. And number 2, working together actually does work. It's not just something we tell ourselves. So number 1, making mistakes is okay. I was looking back through PR comments and Slack messages for all the times that I've made a mistake or messed up or tried to own up to something. And yeah, it was kind of cringe. It was kind of cringe, especially this one recently, where I was saying to Connor about why do we put this thing in our cookies? And immediately, after Connor messages me on the phone, I'm like, oh no, I messed up. Obviously not. I was looking in the wrong place. And you feel like a dummy in the moments, but it's good knowing that nobody's really judging me here. And these are just mistakes that we all make. And if we're working together works, essentially pairing collaboration, the reason why I think this bit is really important is because, and you can actually speak to Ramsey about this, given that he's an expert on like ways of working in Agile. He can tell you the hard pros and cons of this stuff, the actual value that we'll get from it. And hopefully as we're working for longer and longer, we'll be able to see this in like our plan deck metrics. But we can pair more and we can collaborate more. But I'm sure that if I asked everyone here, like, do we value pairing? Everyone would be like, yeah, of course we value pairing. I'm sure in like 5 minutes we could easily get a list of like 10 reasons why pairing is something that's important and good. But why is it that in reality we tend to avoid pairing sometimes? Like, there have been definitely times where I see people working together and it's great, but there are other times where somebody goes away for like a week just working on a problem by themselves when they could be completing that in less time or to a better quality by locking heads together and trying to figure it out. And I think part of that is because the systems and mechanisms that we have in place don't incentivize that pairing. And what I've written down here is like, for example, fewer work in progress items. By having fewer items that are work in progress, for example, fewer initiatives, fewer epics, people aren't incentivized to be like, well, there's 4 items here, there's like 4 of us in the team, everyone goes off and picks a task. Instead, if there's only 1 or 2, be like, well, cool, this makes immediate sense. 2 people going here, 2 people going there. Or even 4 people can mob on it for a period of time. So we have to make sure that the systems also support this. An example I'd like to give here is for ensuring we aren't overly incentivizing solo work. It's like human nature. Whenever we see a person go off, do something difficult, come back, we want to reward them. We want to say thank you. We want to hold them up and be like, this is a great example of somebody, going above and beyond. But sometimes the problem is, if we're only rewarding this, if we're only recognizing this kind of work, and we're not recognizing the teamwork that goes along and then the great benefits that come out of that, then what we're essentially telling people implicitly is, this is nice, but if you do it by yourself, then you're an amazing engineer, then you're great, then we celebrate you. So we have to make sure that we balance these things. At my previous company, for example, pairing was one of our team principles. We said, one of our 5 principles was like, we will pair, we will make sure to do this. And we did it initially. But what ended up happening was over time, less and less people paired. And now when I speak to my colleagues, they tell me that actually there's some people who actively avoid pairing. They say, no, I don't want to pair, I want to work by myself. And potentially that's due to the incentive structures. When you were doing your equivalent of your performance write-up, what are the good things that I've done? Teamwork wasn't really recognized as, it was like, what was your impact? What did you do? Rather than, what did your team do? What did groups of people do? So, yeah, and then finally here is just using different pairing styles. Sometimes a different pairing style is actually just going off and working out by yourself. It doesn't mean that you have to work together for absolutely everything. But there's also different ways that you can pair. For example, you can mob on problems for a while to make sure everyone has context and then split off. Or you can use, commonly we see people driving and then somebody more taking a back seat as such, or doing swapping, or there's just loads of different variants on this thing. So yeah, there isn't just one answer to it, I guess. And yeah, I guess part of the reason why I wanted to share this was not only to tell you why we should try and push for more pairing in the company, but also to use this as an excuse to share with you guys quite openly and quite candidly that there have been times where I've been stuck on a problem, and I have thought that if I share this with my team, I'll be an embarrassment. And so I need to go off and work on this for many, many hours after work. Otherwise, they're going to judge me, and I'm not going to be good enough, and and all this stuff on top. So this isn't the right way to think about things. If you're ever stuck, go and ask for help. It's not a big deal whatsoever. So yeah, just credits. Thank you very much, Joe, for some of the screenshots. My GitHub commit history is nowhere near as good as Joe's, so I had to use a screenshot. And also, if at some point you guys have free time, please watch either one of these videos. This talk was kind of heavily based the format anyway, and not the accent on these videos. One from Alan, who's a Captain Disillusion on YouTube, and then CGB Grey. So yeah, thank you very much. for Q&A, can we have Josh back?
Please.
Oh, we're back. All right, what's up?
Well, I'm not going to do the accent. I'm glad you are. As team leads, as co-workers, as friends, as people who work together, how can we help?
Well, me specifically, or just in general?
Oh, do you want to speak for you and anything that extrapolates?
For me, genuinely, one of the helpful things is just nudges. In fact, an example is things that you've done. So there have been times where Emil has been in the office, he's come by, he's asked, how are you getting on, are you stuck, what's going on? And he will be able to tell through my frustration and my ways of explaining that I'm having a bit of a hard time with a problem. And he'd be like, try pairing, either with me or with someone else on the team. And I'm like, you know what, it's a good idea, I should do that. And then immediately, that same day, the problem is solved. Because I've gone for help, we've managed to work it out together rather than me like, just banging my head against the wall. So yeah, honestly, just each other, making sure that we're repeating that this is something that we value and just offering it to people in case they forget. Because again, it's very easy to get into that mindset of just like, blinds on, just focusing on one thing at a time.
Where did Josh go?
I'm right here. Sorry.
No, sorry, I'm making light of a serious subject, but thank you.
You mentioned one possible like incentive for not pairing being like rewarding times when people do pair. Rewarding times when people don't pair.
Uh-huh.
Do you think there's anything else that like we or that like general trends that come up in software development in general that alongside that also incentivize pairing, or like is there anything that we're doing like in our various teams that lead people not to want to pair that you've seen?
Yeah, I'll be honest, the main thing for me and the main thing that I mentioned here was the work in progress. I think that the problem that I see here is that there's usually so much going on at once that's very difficult for, this is something actually that came up in our like team conversations we were having before. There's usually all this like cognitive segmentation. People are thinking about so many different things at once. That's difficult to get, two people or more just in one place focusing on one problem at a time, because one person's solving this problem, one person's solving that problem, or fighting that fire, rather than trying to work together with this stuff.
Anyone else?
All right. Thank you, folks. I'll see you all around. I can't believe I did that.
I would hate to be the person going up after you.
Just put an accent on.